why at 50 do I want to start videotaping everything and sharing it online? It's not any dredging of vanity or anything like that. I'm not expecting to get internet famous or anything like that at all. It's more so a thing to kind of get me out of my own shell, if you will. I was very active most of my life. Then right around 7, 8 years ago, I started developing pretty bad back problems, and I stopped running every day. Then a couple other things came along. COVID, obviously, none of us went anywhere. And then in December of 24, I started working from home, and I live in a very small house. It's I think it's like 880 square foot, so it's literally a teeny tiny little house. But I pretty much go from the computer to the couch. I don't exercise at all anymore. I've put on an exponential amount of weight. It's crazy. I developed frozen shoulder over this past year. If you've never had that happen, consider yourself lucky, because recovery is anywhere from a couple of months to 3 years, and it looks like mine's going to be leaning more towards the 3 years. So a big part of me is just I need to be more active in my life. I need to go outside my house once in a while. We live in a time now where anything you want, you can 2 mouse clicks and it'll come to your door. I'm part of the age group where I don't know, like our parents used to kick us out of the house. They'd say, "Don't come back till 6 p.m., 7 p.m." You're like, okay. It was a different time. I mean, you can't really do that anymore. But point being, I grew up in an age without cell phones and without internet, without those things, and we found ways to pass the time, and had a blast doing it. My gosh, sometimes I look back and I think we had more fun back then than we do now. Everybody's tied to these things like crazy, but so the biggest thing for me is part of me thinks that if I am putting this out there for the world, that maybe it'll motivate me to stick to it a little more. Any adult they didn't have ADHD when we were kids. You were just unruly or uncooperative or didn't care. But as an adult, I'm very, very susceptible now to the influences. And if I don't have a reason to do something, I won't. So I'm giving myself a reason here. So a couple changes that are on the very near horizon here. I'm actually moving out of this little teeny tiny house into a 4-bedroom, 3-bath condo. Actually, it's about $2,775 for the square footage, so it's almost 3 times as big. That's going to be a huge step up. I think that's going to be a great boost, both mentally as well as just having the elbow room. I have invested in a Life Fitness elliptical, like one of the gym quality ones. I don't remember the exact model off the top of my head. It's coming next week. Maybe I'll make a video about that too. Who knows? But so yeah, it's just one of those things where I need to facilitate change in my life, and I'm really good at coming up with the ideas, but sometimes the follow through in my personal life is a little different. It doesn't, like my projects, I build a lot of things. I've actually done a lot of work to this place myself. Most of the woodwork and everything I've done myself. I've built some of the furniture in this house, things like that. So I'm not necessarily talking about like projects, or especially with work. I'm very diligent with my work and things like that. But when it comes to me, I tend to have great ideas, and then I wake up the next day and I have other great ideas, but nothing ever really gets done. So I think that's the main reason that I wanted to do this. So yeah, kind of like Felicity Day did back in the early 2000s when she did the show The Guild. And by the way, if you've never seen that, absolutely fantastic, especially if you were one of the RPG junkies of the day, like myself and others were. Um, but yeah, that was kind of her vehicle for getting out of her own shell, and look at what she's been able to do since then. Oh my gosh. So yeah, apparently I'm gonna have book deals. No, no, screw that. I'm totally kidding. I don't want that. I'm not that person. But yeah, I definitely want to see myself get better in this next year. I need to. I'm very stiff and sore all day, every day, and if that's how I am at 50, what am I going to be at 60 or 70? Or I mean, I've got degenerative disc disease. L4, L5 is bad. I've heard every day since my mid 30s, but I'm not okay with being okay anymore. So I need to do some of that. I definitely need to change some habits. I think just getting more active would be a huge thing for me. And having a bigger space where I'm not tripping over myself, and I'm not falling all over everything all the time. I think it's just going to be a huge thing for me. Uh, but yeah, I may still need uh, a little kick in the rear, if you will, to stick with it. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm just so yeah. There's no rhyme or reason to what I'm gonna do. I do have hobbies. I do have outlets, things like that. Might be fun to throw all that together. I don't know. Most people do dedicated channels for everything, but I'm kind of all over the place anyway, so it might be kind of fun to just do it all over the place. But yeah. So here's to going forward. Let's launch it.
Haha, look, come on. I don't know what to do.
All right.
Or say.
Cut!
So kind of like Felicity Day did with the Guild back in the day. Back in the day, good. That's a great take.
Cut!
Where pick our nose on camera.